Great. Okay, so we can get started.
Sure.
Sorry guys, I'm not good at computers. We're working on this. Perfect. Okay, so welcome, join us. And my name is Joy. Sue has already introduced me, and I am a regulated immigration consultant. And I've been working in Fanshawe for 6 years now, and I've been practicing immigration law for almost 8 years. So today I'm here to talk about working in Canada with you, since I believe most of you would like to gain valuable Canadian working experience. So we're going to talk about a few things that you need to know as an international student. What are the do's and what are the don'ts when you're in Canada working, okay? So we're going to start our presentation. Do you press this?
Yeah, if you just hold the mouse on the right.
This one?
Like mouse on the right. Yeah, and then
Click on it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to talk about a little bit what to bring with you when you are arriving in Canada. So most important piece would be your passport, of course, right? And when you apply for your visa, depending on where you're from, some of you may from a visa exempted country. If you are from visa required country, you would already have the temporary resident visa, which is the little sticker that is stick on your passport. We call it TRV. So that document is for entry purpose. So once you get your visa approval, immigration should have already sent you the introduction letter, so study permit approval letter. So this letter you should take with you that have an easy access when you're arriving at the airport. So your passport, your TRV, your study permit approval letter, and your letter of admission, letter of acceptance, so offer letter from Fanshawe College. The other document that the officer may also, from time to time, sometimes they require to see that if you have your accommodation arranged, if you have your medical insurance purchased, all of these information is actually included in our offer letter. So make sure you bring that with you. So upon your arrival, don't forget to go through the immigration booth, because you will have to receive the study permit, which is the permit that you need to use while you're in Canada. That is your legal status. So make sure your study permit, the validity of your study permit is 90 days after your program expected completion date. So at any
Can you
time,
mention anyone who is not able to hear the audio, please log out and log in again. So that they will.
So if anybody cannot hear me or hear the audio, you can log out and come back in again. That should fix the problem. Okay? All right. So I'm not able to see the comment.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a comment section?
If you click, yeah, hover over here.
Right here?
No.
Whoops.
So share again. Yeah. Share. And then chat somewhere. Where's like on more?
More?
Chat.
Check. Oh, perfect. So how do I switch in back? Sorry guys, we're running into a little bit problem here. Mainly I clicked the wrong button. Okay, so for the ones, if you cannot hear us, please log out and you can come back in, and that should fix the problem. Okay, so let's continue. So when you arrive at the airport, don't forget, go through the immigration booth and receive your study permit. So you have to hand the study permit approval letter to the immigration officer. They will then issue you a piece of paper and they will say study permit on it, and you bring that with you. Okay, so don't forget, from time to time we do have students forget to go through immigration, and then if you come in without a study permit, then you cannot start your program.
Don't forget to get your slides.
Pardon me?
All your slides are going to have all those topics coming up.
Okay, so do I just go one by one?
Yeah.
Okay, so another point, can you guys see the presentation? Perfect.
Yeah, go ahead and click on the next slide though.
Okay.
They're all topics. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Oh,
So
good.
then go down if you're done
Okay.
with documents.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm good with the documents. So if you have any questions, you need to ask about what documents to bring, and you can save your question to the end because we will have question time in the end when I go through our slides. So another important information for you guys to know is that you need to have a co-op work permit if your program have any working component. So this working component doesn't have to be necessarily called a co-op work permit. It could be paid, it could be unpaid. Some of the programs, your working component could be called internship, could be called a placement, field placement, practicum, externship, anything. So as long as it's a part of your education and allows you to have a practical experience, so get your hands on what you have learned. So if you do have that working component in your program, you need to have this co-op work permit. So now usually when you apply for your study permit or your visa, you would already ask for immigration to issue you a co-op work permit together with your study permit. And if you want to check your offer letter quickly, on page 4 of your offer letter of admission, section 24, if there says yes, then you definitely need to have a co-op work permit. So if some of you did not apply for it at the time you applying for your study permit, that is not a problem at all. We do have a workshop to help you to apply for it. And usually when you just started your program, you will not need the co-op work permit right away. So this co-op work permit, it is issued based on your study permit. So it can never go longer than your study permit, and it is not your status in Canada. And this work permit is only for the educational purpose. Okay, so you cannot use this co-op work permit to work. Next slide. So to work in Canada, all of the employer will ask you, do you have a valid social insurance number? So we call it short is SIN number. This social service insurance number is being issued by Service Canada. So when you arrive in Canada, you may be able to request for SIN, so social insurance number, at the airport with your study permit. But on your study permit, it must have a writing printed on your study permit to indicate that you may accept employment in Canada on or off campus, something like that. So if you do have that on your study permit, you can go ahead and apply for a social insurance number. Also, we do, as you can see the slide, we have a Service Canada staff member. They do come to our campus, on-campus service, so they provide that service on campus. Once you arrive here, you can come in to request for your social insurance number if you didn't get one at the airport. But if you didn't attend our session, you can also go to Service Canada's office, which is located in downtown London. We provide the address to you once you're here. You can also get your social insurance number. Here is what most important thing for you to know. Social insurance number is not your permission. Sorry. So social insurance number is not your permission to work in Canada. It is simply just a number for the government to keep track how much money this person makes over a year, so they can deduct taxes accordingly. It is not your working permission. So in Canada, as an international, to be eligible to work, up to 20 hours per week during your academic session, and able to work for up to full-time during scheduled break, you must be registered as a full-time student. I'm not sure, do we have any English study student, so EAP student? If you are in EAP, if you are coming to study EAP, you're not allowed to work off campus yet. So once you finish EAP, goes into the program, then you can start to work, but you also have to update your study permit. Next slide, I think we're Yeah, so how many hours can I work? I've actually just to cover that. So to reiterate that for EAP student, you are not able to work yet, not eligible to work in Canada yet. Only on-campus job you can participate. For students who are coming for post-secondary program, as long as you're in a full-time status, registered full-time student, you will be able to work 20 hours per week. And during a scheduled break, you can work up to full-time. So full-time hours are not identified by immigration. So mostly your employer will identify what are the number of full-time hours. During school between, so the new changes, actually it's not so new now, as of 2014. So students now allowed to work between programs. So if you are coming to Fanshawe for 2 programs and you do have some break time between 2 programs, you will be allowed to work full-time. And I do provide those details at a later time, if we have time allowed. Later, if somebody asks that question, I can go over that requirement again. So the main thing you need to know is that to be eligible to work between programs, you have to be successfully completed the first program and starting the next program within 150 days. These are the criteria. Next. So, so to help you with your visa, with your study permit and the co-op work permit, even your post-graduation work permit applications, we do have regular scheduled workshops to provide guidance and to provide final check on your application. So during the workshop, you will be learning a little bit about what are the important things for international students to know pertaining your status in Canada. Also, we will be helping you to extend your study permit, apply for new visa, apply to change from student to post-graduation work permit. So the schedules are always look like this. You can see the slide, and we post the time and dates on outside of our office, so you can always look for them. Next. Okay, so other than our workshops, we have lots of other helps. So one of the very helpful department is our career services. So there are many, I don't know how many, maybe 2 or 3 career consultants who are there to provide help with you for writing your resumes and to develop your job interview skills. To help you find off-campus job, volunteer jobs, so anything related with employment. I think I just went through the whole slides. So the slide right now you can see are some of the workshops that they're helping or info sessions. So we can go over the slide again. Yeah, sure, if you don't mind. So I will answer questions in a bit.
Hi, I just want to talk for a quick sec about Fanshawe Works, because the people that are in this session are all students that are coming to Fanshawe this September. So we've emailed you a couple of times about this. It's a brand new workshop called Fanshawe Works, and it's a series of 4 half-day workshops that are free, and they're designed to help you succeed at a job in Canada, whether it's a part-time job during your program or your co-op studies or a full-time job when you're finished. So it's from August 26th, which is the Monday, through to the Thursday, August 29th. It's an online registration. We're going to be sending out another email that's the actual registration form for this. We want you to commit to the 4 days, and it's we're calling them half-day workshops. Some of them are 2 or 3 hours. Things like resume help, how to do a Canadian-style resume, how to act in the workplace, Canadian workplace etiquette. Also personal branding, market yourself. We're going to have an employer panel with people that are looking for students for jobs, and we're going to have an alumni panel. So you'll see how some international students have succeeded in the workplace already in London. So anyway, that's coming up at the end of August. We're excited. It's a new thing, and that's one of the other tools that you have at Fanshawe College. And now back to Joy for some more.
Okay, thank you. So now I've gone through all the information that we would like to provide it to you for before you come into Canada. You will learn more as you arrive, and after you attend our workshops, you will learn even more. So now I'm here to answer some of the questions. If you may have questions, you can just start to ask away. So I'm just gonna move this to the side a little bit. Okay. So where do I start? Can I apply? So I'm going to read the questions. So are
Yes,
are,
for
are
August
they
workshop,
able
they
to
can apply.
are they able to see
No, you
the
should read.
comment?
Just
Okay.
tap it through, yeah.
Okay. So we have a question here. Can I apply for the August workshop even if I still do not have the visa issued yet? So the workshops, you mean the immigration
Fanshawe works.
workshop? Okay, I'm sure you can apply. So if you mean Fanshawe works, yes, you can. So I think you just reply to the email. Yeah, reply to the email. Just express your interest. You would like to attend that workshop. So now this is going quick. So co-op, oops. So co-op I got till August, but I got visa till July, and what needs to be done. So for that scenario, so your study permit really should be valid until 3 months after your entire program. So co-op is also part of your program. It is part of your program. So your study permit should be issued 90 days after your co-op completion. So which would be November. So in this case, you need to apply for study permit extension along with your co-op work permit extension. So you can have both extended until November. I hope that answers your question. I'm not able to review my agribusiness management program class schedule. So
That's a whole other topic, but they should be
So-
available. They've started to be available this week on Fanshawe Online.
okay, so the class schedule started to be available this week. So it probably comes in waves. So if your program has not, your schedule has not been able to show yet on your web advisor, so just give a little bit time. It should be there. So, ma'am, I want to know the procedure of PR in London, Canada. So that is outside of today's topic. To become a PR, that's completely session. So we can have that session during school time when students are already here.
You can hit stop share. So it's just you.
Okay, how do I do that?
Oh,
Red. Okay, all right. So I can see, where is it, the question? Now I lost the question. Can I bring my mother along with me? So what does private mean here?
No, you don't need. Private is there asking just you. So please
Okay.
let them know. Do not ask privately.
Okay.
Ask in the open.
So if you have privately beside your question or name, so I'm gonna skip.
They
Okay.
can send you a separate email.
Yeah,
after.
you can send me an email to, where is it?
Immigration
Do
support.
we have that?
I will type it down.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah, so we will provide you the email. So you can send me separate email if you want to ask a question privately. So anybody ask a question privately, I will not answer here. Co-op, so we have a lot of questions. PR. So what is EAP student? Can you please elaborate? So it's EAP, not EPA. So EAP stands for English for Academic Purposes. So these are for students who are coming from countries that do not speak English as their first language. So they first have to make sure they pass language proficiency level to be able to go into the post-secondary program. Does Fanshawe provide health insurance for students? So read your offer letter. So on your letter of admission, we've already indicated what's included, what's not. So quick answer is yes, it is already included. I am going to be there in Toronto, and after 3 days, I need the bus shuttle services. Is that possible? So these are accommodation or
Can I just jump
settlement
in again?
services. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just jumping in because we only have limited time today, and we have over 400 people online. We're going to do some more sessions for you. We're also sending emails. There's also tons of information on our website. So have a look, and you can also contact us by email after the fact. Just today's session is really all about working in Canada, and Joy is an immigration specialist, so she is going to help you. Okay?
Okay, thank you. So here has a question: is 1 + 1 year program will get 3 years post-graduation work permit? So that's the hottest topic of 2019 among international students. 1 + 1 program, you will be eligible to apply for a work permit that is issued to you up to 3 years. So that is entirely up to immigration officer how they interpret your 1 + 1 program. So most our students receive 3 years because they attend our workshop. So we know how to do the application properly. So that's all I can tell you. When should a person arrive to London? Few days before.
2 weeks before our
2
arrival
weeks
services.
before. Yeah, 2 weeks before our arrival services starts. So you should arrive few days before
August
your
18th.
program start date. Okay. I'm assuming this person is arriving in Canada and asking when to come to London. So is there any college accommodation at South London
Another topic.
campus? So these are accommodation questions or settlement questions. You will find information on our website or the emails we're sending to you. From where I can get co-op work permit after arriving Fanshawe. So if when you apply for your visa, you did not ask for co-op work permit, we do have a workshop to help you to apply. So you have to apply to immigration to get any immigration document, including co-op work permit. So we do hold a workshop weekly to help you to apply for this work permit. Okay?
We're getting overloaded with questions.
Yeah, so you attend the workshop. So is it possible to give written assessment? So I'm not answering any questions that is not regarding working in Canada. I missed on working hours. Could you please help me with that? So you mean the number of working hours?
Yeah.
I believe this slides or
Next one.
this one?
That one.
This one?
That's just, that's
Yeah.
where you talk about.
So you are allowed to work up to 20 hours per week if you're registered as a full-time student during the academic session, and you'll be able to work up to full-time during your scheduled break. So most 1-year programs do not have a scheduled break, but if you're coming to Fanshawe for 2 programs, you will be able to work full-time between 2 programs. The condition would be you have to successfully complete the first program. Second program starts within 150 days from the first program completion date. Hope that answers your question. For some of us that have been denied a visa based on ties in Canada, what do we do? So that's a visa question. Should I answer that? So basically, when you are applying for visa, the officer will automatically assuming that you're not going back on time. So it is 100% on you to trying to provide a proof that you will go back on time. So I'm not sure what your scenario is. So at any given time when you apply for student visa or work or visiting, you have to show that your ties in your home country is much stronger than the ties you have in Canada. I don't know if that answers
Do you want me
your
to maybe
question.
ask a couple of questions that would? Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I'm just jumping in again to maybe keep a little more focus on the session. I hear Joy asking or talking to students all day long, and they're kind of our hot topics in this office. So if I think of a couple that may help a bunch of you, I can ask them, and Joy can speak to them because we're getting so many questions. Just super quick, if you have anything regarding accommodation, Fanshawe cares at fanshawec.ca is the email you need. That can answer all your questions about arrival and accommodations. That's kind of a big topic that's getting mixed in here today. So back to Working Canada. Joy, maybe talk to the students about what if you get here and you didn't realize you had a co-op or an internship or a placement and you need that co-op work permit. What do you do?
Right, so then you would attend our workshop, okay? And we do have all the information outside of our office. We have a wall of information. So you go ahead and pick up the co-op work permit information sheet where it will provide you what documents to prepare. And then once you have all the documents prepared, you can bring them to our weekly workshop, and we will provide help with you to complete that application and you to apply for it. So as soon as you get to your program or start your program, you should apply for your co-op work permit if you don't have one yet.
Okay, and what if I hear students talking all the time about needing extensions? So their program's going to go until December and they're going to run out of time in November. What do they do?
So in that case, like I said earlier, so your study permit in a proper way, it should be 90 days after your program completion date. So if for any reason, some of your reason could be your passport, like this person is asking, the passport is expiring soon, because immigration would never issue you any document that is beyond your passport validity. So if that's the reason, you have to renew your passport first, then apply for a study permit extension. But when your study permit, validity of your study permit is not 90 days after your program completion date, you always have to ask for extension. So sometimes depending on the scenario, each person's scenario is different. So if you did not change program from co-op to non-co-op or from non-co-op to co-op, or if you did not fail any courses, made your program longer than it's supposed to be, if that's not the case, usually you just need to extend your study permit no more than 90 days before the expiry date. But if you have changed the program from a shorter program to a longer program, or if you have, let's say you passed the EAP program and then you're going on to the post-secondary program and you change the program again, then that's when you can always apply for a new study permit. Does that answer the question?
I think so, but I think once more for fun, we should talk about the post-grad work permits, and what if someone's only coming here to take a one-year program, and how does that work?
So for the post-graduation work permit, it is only issued based on two things. So I summarize all the long requirements to two main points. One is the officer will look, how long is your program? So if your program is less than 8 months, then you're not eligible. But in Fanshawe, we don't have any program that is less than 8 months. Most our one-year certificate program are at least 8 months in length. And another criteria is, have this person completed the program continuously full-time? That is the major point. So let's say if you are in a program and you decide, you know what, next term I want to take a break because I don't feel like I want to work, can you do that? The answer is no, because once you choose to take a break, then your program is not considered continuously full-time completed, because once you choose to take a break, we have to withdraw you out of the program and have to readmit you, and we may not have a seat for you to go back to that same program. And also when you do that, you're not considered a registered full-time student, therefore you cannot work in Canada at all. So that's something most students misunderstood, so they think they can take a break and work. So that's not able to do so.
You gotta follow your timetable.
Right, you gotta follow your natural progression. So if your program is continuously full-time completed, then you are eligible for a post-graduation work permit. So the hot topic would be, how long will it be my work permit? So here's the guideline provided by immigration. So if you have completed a program that is at least 8 months in length and less than 2 years, your post-graduation work permit will be as long as how long you have studied. If your study in Canada is 2 years or more, then the work permit may be issued to you up to 3 years. These are all the wording they're using. So it's like I said earlier, it is all depending on the officer who is looking at your application, and it is all depending on how you present your application in front of the officer. So we do have a workshop to help you to properly presenting your application, to trying to maximize your chance to get the longest work permit you could.
Okay.
Answer your question?
Another thing that maybe we could talk about is people going to not the main Oxford Street campus, people that are going to one of our regional campuses, people going downtown, people going to the new London South campus. What's the best way for them to get information from you? Do you go to them? Do they come?
Right, I do regional campuses visits. So currently I'm doing airport campus, and I'm doing Woodstock campus. So for I believe the new campus, once it's open, and I will be, or one of our student advisor will be doing regular visits. So the best way to access us when you are not in London campus is to let your student success advisor know that you would like to meet with us, or you can always send us an email to immigrationsupport@fanshawe.ca. So yes, I will be providing regular visits to the regional campus. So you don't need to worry that you will have less help. Yeah.
What about somebody is coming with a husband or a wife, a spouse? They're going to probably want to work while the student's going to school.
Right. So if you're coming with spouse, husband or wife, and dependent children, so it depending on the status when they arrive in Canada, some of your spouse may already have the open work permit approved, but if not, if they're arriving as a visitor, if they have valid visa to arrive in Canada as a visitor, we do help with the family application, but you do have to make appointment with me. So if you are a study permit holder, your spouse will be eligible to apply for an open work permit, and your dependent children will be eligible to apply for study permit in order to be legal study in Canada and working in Canada for your spouse.
Okay, just maybe if you could review with the students what the services are that we provide, what can we help with, and just know that we have Joy, who is an RCIC, which is a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, and we have 2 RICIAs, which stands for Regulated
International Student Advisor.
So we have 3 people that can really help you. And what do you guys?
Right.
What do you usually do?
So, so for the other RICIA, we have 2 RISIA, so they are also student life coordinator. Student life coordinators are helping you with anything regarding your life, obviously, right? So if you need to change program, and you need to talk to somebody about the maybe you have difficulty times, and you can arrange, you can come to see them. And for myself, I'm specifically towards immigration help. So not to PR. So I do not providing PR application help. So for me, mainly I am helping with your study permit, work permit, your family's application, but your family has to be your immediate family who are in Canada already. So like immediate family, I mean like if you have a spouse and the dependent children. So not any other relatives, and they have to be in Canada.
Another thing that happens here is we get quite busy. Big lineups, lots of people, but a lot of them have the same question and the same issue. So Joy runs workshops, and Panise runs workshops at the downtown campus, and they can help kind of do a group session about some major topics. So again, those workshops will really be helpful, and pay attention to those dates.
Right. So once we have because we have to book workshop every term. So once the September's workshop is being confirmed, and we will have something like this. we will have that in front of our office, so you will be able to see it. So again, it is running on a weekly basis. So for this term, we do 2, one in downtown campus, one in London campus. So and next term, we're thinking about adding more sessions, maybe 2 or 3 a week. So once you're here, make sure you looking for this information.
And maybe all of this is overwhelming, I'm sure, to the students that are coming.
Right.
Everything, moving here, living here, working here. You want to follow the rules, but there's so many rules.
Right.
Maybe just reassure them that you probably have heard every kind of story that you can hear, and nothing scares you.
Right.
It can help.
So anything that pertaining to your study, your immigration, that I've already seen like all of the cases. So when you're thinking that you're in trouble, make sure you're coming to see us. I assure you, most of the time you're not in trouble, so you don't need to panic. So one of the things that I just kind of want to let everybody know is that we've heard a lot of wrong information, because people talking between, and they're using their own experience as a standard. I think I repeat this sentence every day to our students, because my friend said this, so I'm in trouble. So when it comes to immigration, when it comes to your immigration status or your documents, please do not listen to your friend, or please do not ask your friend for advice. We often joking, you ask your friend to find out where has the best pizza, but not asking your friend how to apply for study permit, how to apply for co-op work permit. So we are here to help you, and we do run workshop to provide help in a group, or you coming to see me, okay? Or to the other 2 student success, not success advisors, student life coordinators, okay? That's my advice.
Maybe just not to scare people, but if you follow the rules, it's smooth and it's wonderful and it's fantastic, and most of you will get work permits and have a successful job in Canada. But there are some big no-nos, and maybe Joy, give them an example or 2 of what really not to do, or what someone has done and how it turned out.
So a lot of the time we see students get in trouble with immigration, even get deported, is when they're working more than they're supposed to. So when immigration tells you you're only allowed to work up to 20 hours per week, what they meant is that you can only work 20 hours per week, not average 20 hours. So what does that mean? So if this week you only work 10 hours, it doesn't mean next week you can work 30 hours. So that 20 hours per week, you use it or you lose it. So every week it goes back to 0. Okay, so some of the employers, they are not really aware of all these details. So immigration put the responsibilities on the applicant, so on the permit holders. So you are responsible to tell your employer, no, I can only work 20 hours. Okay, I think that's most of the students get in trouble. You work too much, and then you lost your focus because you're coming to Canada to study. We always say, if you want to come to Canada to work, you need to apply for work permit from beginning. You should come as a worker, not a student.
Okay, that's all I can think of, but
so,
if you want to do any other...
Something that I would like to add is that when you come to Canada, I understand that most of you will be looking for part-time jobs. Just so you know, at the time for you to apply for study permit extension or anything, as a student, when immigration asks you to provide financial support, okay, that doesn't mean you show that, oh, I'm working 20 hours. So I can tell you that immigration does not consider your off-campus earning as your financial support or resources. So at any given time, if you say, you know what, I have to work, if I don't work 30 hours a week, I cannot afford paying next term, that is a big no-no to immigration. So I just want you to know that your off-campus employment, it really is to enrich your experience in Canada. It is not meant for you to come here to earn money.
Okay.
So don't work too much. That's all I'm trying to say.
I just see one of the questions that I can still see on the screen that I have no idea. I'm sure you do. Coming in the airport, is immigration open all the time, or do they have a schedule? That's
So the border never closes, right? So yes, they are open 24 hours. They're just probably, so what happens is that during the peak time, so normal hours, they will have more staff on duty. So when it's slow down time, they will have less staff member on duty. So there's no, they don't close the airport. So it runs all day. So you don't have to worry about that. But what I want to remind everybody is, do not forget, get your study permit before you come out of airport, okay? So the paper, next time you should bring a study permit. So after you have to show someone your study permit approval letter so that officer knows to issue you a study permit. Again, if you're coming to us without a valid study permit, we're not able to register you and you won't be able to attend the class. In that cases, you either have to turn around, go back to the airport, get your study permit there, or you're going to have to spend another $150 asking for a new study permit. If that's the case, we are not able to allow you to go into the class until you receive your study permit. And those processing time is fairly slow. It's about right now is about 39 days. Okay, so then you wouldn't miss your whole term, and we don't want anybody running into that scenario.
okay. So is that the most, if there was one thing?
The most important. Yeah, the most important thing is to make sure you get your study permit at the airport. If you look at your offer letter, your letter of admission on page 4, section 24, so if you guys want to go back and look at your offer letter, on the last page, on the 24 section, if it says yes to working component, you can also ask officer, could you please also issue my co-op work permit, because I have this. So you need to show your letter of admission to the officer who's doing your study permit at that time. All right.
Anything else you should add?
I think I've covered a lot, and I hope everybody learned something from today's session. Again, if you have any further question, or you did not get chance to ask your question today, or we didn't get chance to ask your question regarding anything about your permit, your co-op work permit, or working in Canada, feel free to send us an email at immigrationsupport@fanshawe.ca.
Okay, and I'll just, excuse me, I'll just add, again, any arrival and accommodation information, Fanshawe cares at fanshawe.ca. And I hope everybody enjoyed this first session, our Welcome to Fanshawe series. Again, it's a series of 4 online sessions. Today was Working in Canada. We're going to do an academic success session, as well as one in living in London and bringing your family here. Those will come about a week apart. We'll email you so you know they're coming up. And hope you can join us, and hope this was helpful. See you soon.
Thank you.